Awesome. Thank you so much for being here at the second day of the virtual learning feast, celebrating my 40th birthday. And I thought about what would be a great way to give back, because I made it. I made it to this age, and I put together 4 different webinars that are part of the Sustainability Regenerative Leadership Course that I just launched and is starting in January. It's a 16 weeks course with live and interactive sessions and lots of resources and lots of asynchronous interaction also. So synchronous where we're going to meet live, and asynchronous where you'll be able to, participants would be able to meet in a forum where they'll have all kinds of resources. So with that said, this is part of that, and I'm creating it as basically something to share with the larger community as a gift from me. And if you are ready for this specific session, if you had something to write with, it would be really powerful for you, because today the theme is world visions and the skills and practices that we're going to explore, that we're also doing in the course. Of course, this is going to be a little bit of a shorter version of that. The skills and practices that we are going to explore are to envision and create the future. And I know it sounds pretty out there, but I think once you are going to get into this, you are going to be excited to see that that is possible. And this is awesome that we have more people joining. So if you're watching this recorded, you should also know that I am combining this webinar with an evening that I've been doing for a while, meeting with all of the graduates of the course, the permaculture courses that I've been running for the past 6 years. And some of them are going to join and possibly be able and be part of the conversation. So with that said, here's what we're going to do this evening. First of all, we are going to share some words of gratitude. Then I will be sharing a short presentation, and then I will be leading an exercise that is related to this subject, which may require you to write something down and or share on the mic with others. And then we'll open it up to some discussions and some questions, if anybody has any questions to be answered. I do do a giveaway, a full scholarship for the Sustainability Regenerative Leadership. Again, this is a webinar part of that. This 16-week course, I'm giving a full scholarship for that at the end to one of the participants. And then we'll open it to talk about some opportunities to learn and connect further. So if you've seen the recording of the last session, or you have not, you should know that in general, this new course in Sustainability Regenerative Leadership, and in a lot of my past courses, I really like to start a lot of the sessions with gratitude. This particular presentation of why start with gratitude, I adopted it from Coming Back to Life, a book by Joanna Macy. So I wanted to be clear about that and give credit to where that's due. So here's why I really enjoy and I find a lot of value in starting with gratitude, because first of all, we're alive, and just to live and be alive right now is holy, and to be here is a blessing. So starting with gratitude, just being grateful in general to the gift of life. A second reason of why start with gratitude, because when we start anything with gratitude, we become present to the moment. We can seize the unrepeatable chance to be alive right now in this moment. Another reason why start anything with gratitude. I mean, imagine if people that are meeting on a regular basis right now at the United Nations, for example, or in any government out there, if they started every session with some kind of gratitude to whatever they would be grateful, right? Here's another reason to be grateful. And to start with gratitude, you know, when you're grateful, it really doesn't depend on the external circumstances. It's all grace if we really recognize it, that no matter what's happening around us and what our life, what we're going through in life, we could definitely still be grateful. And being grateful really does not feed into the current model that we're being invited out there to participate in. It really brings out a new world paradigm when we start everything with gratitude. I mean, where are we invited to start things with gratitude and just be grateful before we do anything? And I really like this quote by Buckminster Fuller: to change something, build a new model that makes the existing model obsolete instead of fighting it. And I believe that being grateful, starting things with gratitude, can really put in that new paradigm to really like change something. And then really gratitude is us stepping into a sacred duty with words that come before all else. And this is something really beautiful to share and remember when we are grateful, that gratitude and the dignity of self-respect it engenders helped many of the native cultures oppressed around the world for thousands of years to survive. And that's something to really reflect on and kind of like really look at this idea. There's this beautiful book, it's called Men's Search for Meaning. I always I never remember the author's name, but anyway, in the book The Men's Search for Meaning, there's an account of people being in labor camps and being in like these horrifying oppressed situations, and the people in those moments were grateful for being alive and being together, and that helped them basically live those days. For some people it was like their last days, but other people to live through that and be able to tell the story later. So really gratitude is a powerful way that when we start with gratitude, everything proceeds more easily and productively. And really, it stands us, the people that are being grateful, in our deepest powers. So right now, for the people that are here, I'm going to invite you to basically step into gratitude. And one of the easiest ways I found lately that it works is to take 1 minute of silence. I mean, some people do it with their eyes closed, other people do it with their eyes opened, other people really like to even take notes to the prompt of a minute of silence. And thank you for the private messages that I'm getting right now, that my hat is being loved and I'm looking good, and it's been a while, and thank you so much for that. So I'm going to put a timer for 1 minute, and I'm going to invite you to just think about either what are you very grateful for right now, 3 different things. Find 3 things in your life that you're extremely grateful in this moment, or just look at the last week and see what are you grateful for this past week, since last Friday or even since Monday. What are three things that you are grateful for? So I'm going to start the timer, and I'm going to take that 1 minute also. And if you wanted to, write them down or think about them, and then you wanted to come and share, you're more than welcome to come and share them on the microphone. If you wanted to share them via typing them in the chat, and I can write them if you didn't want to have your voice on this. But really think about of all of these things that I shared with you. Why start everything with gratitude? So with that said, I'm going to start a timer here, and I invite you to reflect on what is it that you are grateful for. So here's that minute. And there's the time. I cheated a little bit. I was writing a message also for somebody that wants to still join this. So I wanted to invite those people that are here with us. If you would like to come and take the mic, maybe raise your hand and come share kind of what you came. Otherwise, you can type it, or you can even type, no sharing, NS maybe. If you didn't want to share right now, you don't necessarily have to share. You can pass. But I'll start with my share. I'm grateful that the three things that I'm grateful for. I am grateful for support from people to move forward with my work, and that lately has been coming in different ways. But I'm really grateful for people that see the type of work that I do and supporting this work in many different ways. I'm grateful for being able to be around my children and my partner and be able to see them, being able to do this work in a way that's allowing me to be around my children and my partner, which means, I'm farming and I'm teaching online and in person, and has given me the opportunity to be present quite a lot with them. And a third thing, I'm thankful for the people that are joining, old and new friends, old and new students of a different kind of work. And I'm going to read one thing that one person is grateful here for. One of my past students, Chris, he's grateful for roller coasters. And that's so awesome. So I'm going to give it, I don't know, if anybody wants to come to the mic, Noe or Isaiah, if you wanted to come to the mic and share what you're grateful for, that's fine. If you don't want to, that's fine. Go ahead, Isaiah.
Yeah, every day I wake up, I'm grateful for life and my family, obviously. I get to be a vegetable farmer every day, which is awesome. I get to get an education and the people who love me. And shoot, recently I got a second vegetable farm, so I'm grateful for that as well. I just got a new job this morning. Like I can't complain about anything in life. I could go on for forever, but I'll let everybody else get to it.
I'm grateful for you being grateful for all these things and seeing all these things. Thank you for.
Oh yeah, and Lucci always provided me the opportunity to learn. Always, he won't let me go through life without learning more.
I love that. Thank you for that. Thank you for that acknowledgement. Awesome. I am going to invite. Awesome. Thank you, Noe. Did you want it to come? You don't necessarily have to come and share, but if you want to, here's a chance. 3, 2, or you're still writing all you're grateful for, which would be awesome. Okay, we'll just move forward. I mean, you can take the mic anytime and interrupt. So I really feel present in this moment from being grateful. So I'm inviting you to try this, to try to reflect for 1 minute. It's just 1 minute. Reflect. What are you grateful for in that specific moment, or what are you, what are you grateful from this past week, right? And like, Isaiah said, he's waking up every morning being grateful, and it's awesome to kind of like reflect on the same things you're grateful all the time. And that's one thing actually that I'm going to discuss about tomorrow. Tomorrow at 10:30 Central Standard Time. I think California time. I know a lot of people are joining from California. It's 8:30. No, is it 10:30 to 11:30? No, it's at 10 o'clock. So it's 8 o'clock. I will be talking about the routine of being grateful and how to incorporate that in one's life and what it can do beyond this slide that I shared here. And that's also part of kind of the invitation of the Sustainability Regenerative Leadership Course. This is part of that, the webinar that's just like a little bit of an insight of the 16 weeks course. But anyway, gratitude is a big thing that we're bringing forth. So with that said, today's session is about future visioning through backcasting. This is basically a technique, and you'll learn really soon about it, that is adapted from the natural step. You can search what the natural step is, and you'll find quite a lot of information about it. And I adapted the natural step approach myself to work for individuals, because this in general applies to groups of people and different entities that have multiple people involved in envisioning the future. So in the course, we discussed a little bit, before and quite a lot after. The course itself is kind of like feeding each session, so that as we're moving, in the course itself, it kind of like anywhere where there's certain questions, or it feels like some of the concepts and some of the skills that we're practicing and we're working with, if they don't make sense on the spot, they would make even more sense later on in the course. But this session by itself would definitely work, even if you're just doing it by itself. So here's what future visioning with backcasting is, and backcasting in general. Backcasting is a strategic approach to planning, and it is used for sustainable and regenerative development by companies and governments to achieve audacious goals and or visions, and it can be used at the individual, family, and community level to achieve dreams and visions of and for the future. Backcasting creates the future. It does not guess or predict it as forecasting does. Forecasting, kind of, you hear about forecasting in the stock market, for example, or in the weather, right? And so forecasting is reactionary, whereas backcasting is visionary. And there's some more things to discuss here, the difference between forecasting and backcasting. But here's something that could explain a little bit further. how backcasting works. So first of all, a successful outcome is imagined in the future, a very definite and very specific future described in as much detail as possible. The cool thing is that right now in this live webinar, I have a few of my permaculture design certification course graduates. So for them, this is not very strange. This is not very out there, because that's what we do in a permaculture course. We are designing, imagining the future, sometimes in a lot of detail, right? That's what we do when we're designing with permaculture in general, landscape, right? And then, so in backcasting, we start with a successful outcome that's imagined in the future, something that's very definite and very specific, described in as much detail as possible. And then it involves an imaginary moving backwards in time, step by step, and you'll see a diagram in a moment, in as many stages as are considered necessary from the future to the present to reveal the mechanism through which that particular specified future could be obtained from the present. So we're creating the future, and then we're moving backwards from that future, figuring out a way to get from the present to that desired envisioned future that we started with. So here is an image here that's showing you're starting on A, where you're defining a vision in the future, and then you're going to B, which you're going to see in a moment in my next slide, which is kind of like looking at the baseline. What are we starting with? And then we're starting with C, the third step, to create some creative solutions, looking at what we want, what we have, and what kind of ideas do we have to get from what we have to what we desire. And then D, a fourth space, just to create some clarity, we're going to, a fourth step, we're going to decide on some priorities. How are we going to get there in the best way? So here's what I just said, explained again, piecemeal by piecemeal. First, we envision, or you are envisioning, your best and most desired future. Again, think about that. This can be done for a company with multiple people together, but it involves a few more steps before that, which is another thing that we talk in the sustainability regenerative leadership. How do you get people together and work towards a common vision of the future and stick with it to make it happen, right? So in this case, we're doing it for you personally. So envision your best and most desired future in great detail. And that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to run you through that, and I hope you have something to write with. Where you're going to get yourself to 5 years in the future. We can do it for further in the future, but 5 years is a great one. The second step would be to baseline, map, and analyze your current state. And because we're permaculturists and we know about it, and anybody in the realm of sustainability and regeneration should know about the 8 forms of capital. This is how you would look at what do I have right now? This is the beautiful part of it, because we're envisioning the future, but we're not trying to figure out what are we lacking and what do we need to get. We're starting with what do we have right now? And we're looking at what kind of capital we have: social capital, material capital, financial capital, living capital, intellectual capital, experiential capital, spiritual capital, cultural capital. We may get to that a little bit today. And then the third step would be to come up with some creative potential solutions, basically brainstorm. Hey, what solves the problems identified in the second part of step 2, right? With identifying basically what did we have and what do we have to kind of like work with and kind of make it work to move towards that envisioned state. And I'm going to discuss about that in a moment. I'm going to run you through that. And then the fourth part will be to decide on priorities. And this is an invitation to think about that low-hanging fruits offer rapid returns on investment, which means that you can prioritize what are the simplest things that you can do to move towards that future that you envision with what you have right now. And then you can also create a time frame with milestones to help you. Like, we need to reach this different points in order to move towards that future. So there might be some questions now, but let's just start envisioning your future. And this is the first step into it. And this is the best way to just move forward and do it. This is what, in general, I'm always working to make happen in my courses, where we are going to practice with the things that we talk theoretically about. So, for example, in the permaculture courses, we get to design and try a few things during the course, calculate, I don't know, rainwater catchment, figure out how to position the plants, doing some observations and so on and so forth. And this one here, we're going to get to envision your future. So, and then hopefully, depending on how the time is working, we may be able to go to step 2, maybe even step 3. So how this is going to work, if you're still here with me, I'd like to see some thumbs up from you. If you're watching this recorded, the advantage of watching a recording of this would be that you would be able to actually pause. I'm going to do some prompts. I'm going to walk you through this, and you'll be able to pause the video and actually even go deeper into taking notes on the type of questions that I'm asking you. So first of all, this is the ABCD method, again, adapted from the natural step. You can check that out later. I adapted this and I combined it with other work that comes from Joanna Macy, for example. And I found it in other places too. Most of the time you find all of those resources where I take this work and I bring it for us to practice. You would be finding it in that course in our asynchronous forum. So here's how this is going to happen. So first of all, we want to envision your best and most desired future. I'm going to invite you to take yourself, you are going to take yourself 5 years from now in the future. And you would be starting on the exact day and time of the day as now, but it's 5 years in the future, okay? And you're going to answer certain questions that I'm going to ask you, okay? So for this exercise to work and to produce outcomes for you, to get you to actually really envision and create that future, you'll have to assume that the future you're about to imagine already exists and that you are there. And you'll have to answer the questions as if things are real, not as something that you desire or you think you want to. There's nothing that can stop that future from actually happening, okay? So here's an example. If I would ask you, what does your house look like, right? You're at 5 years from now, right? And I'm asking you, what does your house look like? Your answer must be as descriptive as possible, as if you were there and you were seeing it, okay? Sometimes people do it even with eyes closed, but it could be as easy as kind of looking away and kind of envisioning that. So something like, it's a big house, it's painted white with Spanish red tiles and red roof and big windows, etc., right? Things like that. Instead of saying, my house in the future will be da 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 da, or I want it to be, blue with white and pink and huge or small, or I think it will be a cob house, right? So you're saying it like you're there, like you are there, you're seeing it. There's nothing between now and that future vision that would stop you to achieve that vision, okay? And don't limit yourself to making something too small or scared to envision something in those 5 years that you right now may think it's impossible. Just dream it, envision it, okay? And again, the point of this exercise is to see and to practice this skill of backcasting, of future visioning, and using backcasting on how to get here. Remember, this type of technique is used by governments and corporations out there and communities and families and individuals to reach audacious goals. Okay, so we're about to start. Okay, and I'm inviting you to the best practice for this, because we're not going to go really deeply into this, but with this kind of questions. And again, you're going to get this recording, and if you want to get this questions, you can watch this recording in the future and get these questions. You don't have to write these questions down right now. If you wanted to kind of like take notes on what questions I'm asking to run you through this program, just watch the recording and you'll be able to get those. Focus on answers. And here's the thing, the best way would be that, yes, you'll want to make this super descriptive. Possibly you can sit down and really, really do this exercise and create amazing detailed future for yourself. But for right now, for the sake of the timing that we're using in this webinar, and of course, in the class, we're also going to, like in the course, the Sustainability Regenerative Leadership Course, we're creating the space for participants to be able to really take their time and work with this, okay? But for the sake of this time right now, see if you could write keywords to my questions, unless you write super, super fast, but keywords, right? Like, the question earlier, what does your house look like? You can write a lot of keywords instead of like being super descriptive, just for the sake of the time. So I'd like to invite you to sit comfortably. I'd like to invite you to take yourself 5 years in the future. It's a Friday evening. It's a Friday evening in the future. It's the same time it is right now. Welcome to newcomers. Just play along with the backcasting that we just started. So take yourself 5 years in the future. It's going to be the same time it is right now. You are there, and I'm about to start asking you what you are seeing. So my first question is, where do you live? In which country? Which place? And take a moment to envision where that is. Take those notes. Are you in a house? What is the house like? Walk through it a bit. Is it big or is it small? Is it like a cob house? Is it made of natural materials? Is this house that you're envisioning yourself in the future, is it yours? Does it have a yard or a large tract of land around it? What's out there? What's in that yard? What's in that garden? Lots of fruit trees, animals, edible foods. Is this just one of the homes you have or live in, or is it one that you visit on a regular basis? Do you have other homes? I'll let you envision that for a moment. Now, Who's there with you? Get back to being at this house, at this place. Who's there with you? Is there a significant other with you? Are there children around? Yours, other people's? How many children? Is there family around? Which family? Write their names. Who's there with you? There are no limits. Now, these people that are there with you, do they live on your land or in your house or in this land that you live on? Or maybe are they visiting a lot? Are there any other significant people around, like friends, neighbors? Is there a community around you? Who's there with you? What does your interaction with them look like? What are you guys doing together? Now, let's take it to a little bit outside of that specific moment and the people and the place. What does a regular day in your life look like? This is like the perfect day. Just how does it look like? It's yours to create. What does a regular day in your life look like? Do you wake up and meditate? You exercise? You work in the garden? You spend some time with your loved ones and then get to work? Do you even work? Do you work from home or do you go somewhere? It's your future to envision. You're there. That's happening. So how does that day look like for you? Where do you work? What do you do? Is it from home? What do you do for a living? Be simply specific. What is it that you do in that future for a living? What kind of service or services and or product or products are you providing to the world? What does that entail? What does it take for you to provide this to the world? What and who is involved in this process of you offering this service or product to the world out there? So again, the time is short here, but you can see that with these questions, you can reflect on them quite a lot. Where are you at? Where do you live? How does your house look like? Who's around? What do you do with these people? Do they live there with you? I know a lot of people have these kind of dreams to have their family with them or their community or their friends. Or be away from everything and have a beautiful place where people come and visit. A lot of people want to have a specific type of living that they want to be making, the type of work, the type of services and products that they want to be doing. And you can envision those. Now, let me bring you back to that future. What do you do for fun? What do you do for fun? Travel? Where do you travel and how regularly are you traveling? It's your future. You can create it. Some people want to travel to the farmer's market every day, and that's it. I know somebody did. Now, even more importantly, how do you feel on a regular basis? How do you feel on a regular basis? Write down those words. Excited, full of energy. These are my words. We can use them too. Happy. And here's one more question. Of course, there are more. And in our course in the Sustainability Regenerative Leadership, we explore a few more questions. Again, like I said, I hope you like this facilitation. And if you followed along, hopefully you envision some part of that beautiful future that you like to have for yourself. But one more question, which is beautiful because it makes you even look forward from the future. What is your next big project to achieve in 5 more years from now? Now being that future in 5 years from now. So 10 years. No. See, what we started here from the beginning, you could envision a limitless future. And I've done this with hundreds of people. And again, you know, we're playing with a short time here. You can really sit down and put a lot of detail to these 5 years in the future with no limit to what's possible. It really, if you're putting your heart in it and who you truly are, it's going to really be very realistic for you. But again, you can't let it will be, or I want it to be, or I think it will be kind of stay in your way. So with that said, I'm going to end this here. But again, remember that in our exercise here to envision our future, we have 3 more steps. Okay. But I wanted to see if there's anyone here that's live. I know we have some latecomers too, but you know, some people that have been here from the beginning. If there's anybody that played a little bit with this and answered some of these questions, and what did you get so far out of it? And if there's nobody, I can definitely move forward. But there is anybody. There we go. Go ahead, Isaiah.
Yeah. So, as you know me, Lucci, this is something I do every day. But yeah, just tell about what I wrote down, or
Yeah, maybe what you wrote down, how your future is looking like, or you know, what did you get out of this exercise? And I like that you said that you're doing it every day, but yeah, share whatever you want to share about this.
yeah, what did I get out of it? So the notes I had a question as well for the backcasting. There was 4 steps, or was there a 5th one? I got envision, baseline, creative potential solutions, decide on priorities. Was that it to it?
Yeah, so envision your best and most desired future, which is kind of like what we started to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the second is to create a baseline, you mapping and analyzing your current state, which we can start doing because we do have time right now. And we use the
Right.
8 forms of capital. So that's the second step.
Mm-hmm.
And the third one was to start coming up with some creative potential solutions. And the fourth, decide on priorities. Like, you know, like after we making these potential solutions, right? We're going to start deciding on what's the priorities, kind of like what should we start doing already right now.
Okay. So, and then for the future house, I got yeah, I want to move to either a very religious country, but really my dad's home island, which is Dominica in the West Indies. I'm gonna move there probably when I turn 27 in 3 years. Definitely putting a church on the site, a house for each one of my family members, my mom, my brother, and my sister, and my father as well, because I don't want to live with them, just buy them. Outdoor kitchen because I love cooking outside. I'm obsessed with it. Um, at least over 100 acres because I grew up in apartments, so I always wanted the whole world. Full size rugby pitch because I'm addicted. I love skateboarding and riding bikes, so bike track and skate park. Orchard, small farm, house or horses, goats, the whole nine. A wife and at least 6 to 10 children. I don't know why I want so many kids. I feel like that's like a farmer thing.
5 years, man. Just get your calculations right.
Yeah, right. So yeah, but a lot of kids. I don't even like kids, but I want a whole bunch of kids. I don't get it. But yeah, what I could see the house as being an eco-sustainable house, um, self-producing as much as possible. The feeling I would get would just be an amazing feeling every day and forever grateful as I am not close to that position now, but that's how I am now. So I couldn't imagine it'll change then. And the next big goal would be to help other people achieve that similar lifestyle to myself.
I love that. That's awesome. So I wanted to invite you to, and I'm going to share these questions now that I see that you went through it. I'm going to share these questions with you and everybody that's participating here, so you can kind of like go a little bit deeper in it. Again, you can look at the natural step, and I can offer more things. Of course, again, an invitation to the course also, where we really go deep into this stuff. But with that said, I'll send you these, and I wanted to invite you to, again, the prompt here is to really put yourself in that future and envision that future like it already exists. Like, even the language used, if you say, I want to, or I think it will be like that, or it will be like that, right? No more. If when you're envisioning, you're doing it from present, from like exactly from a present tense, like my house is like this, and like that. I have all these animals and I see all these orchards and a lot of edible foods, and the church is built in the middle of the village, and my parents have a house on this part of the property, and my sister and brothers have it here. And what do I do on a regular basis? Oh, I can't wait to go fishing in the morning and dance in the evening. And that's what I do on a regular. And for a living, I'm growing food and I'm preaching the gospel. And what do I do for fun? I'm growing food and I'm preaching the gospel, right? And you can be very, very detailed, just putting yourself in that present moment, okay? And that's really powerful, because that makes it really real. And here's what makes it even more real, that we can do this first next step, okay? So this is, I think, as far as we're going to be able to get into this webinar session, right? The second step is to analyze, to analyze what do you have to work with towards that future, okay? So the difference here is, and I know some of my students that took my permaculture course, including you, Isaiah, if I don't know if you were at that session specifically, but we did have a wonderful teacher that I brought in to talk about exactly this idea here, that when we're looking and we're envisioning a specific, future for ourselves, or a business, or a project, or just something that's final in the future, we always start to look at what do we have to work with, instead of like, what do we need? A lot of people, I got to start a business and make this $1 million business, but I need money to start with, right? Like, or I need a place to, my office, or I need people to work with, or I need more knowledge, or I need more whatever. Instead of looking like that, we're looking at what do we have already. So it's so beautiful to actually use the 8 forms of capital here that come from Appleseed permaculture. And it's awesome to look at it to really see that we have a lot of capital to work with. And again, capital is not just financial, but there's all kinds of capital. So look, for example, here's social capital. you want to look at what kind of connections and relationships do you have that may help you move towards your desired future. It can already pop in your head immediately who those people might be, right? Make a list of your different communities. And again, in the course, we're really like kind of like going deep into this, into like how to make those lists. So you can put, family on mom's side, family on dad's side, alumni from school, people from work, people from this course, if you're taking the course, people that I go to the gym with on a regular, people at the farmer's market, right? So you have all kinds of categories. And then within each of that category, you can identify who can help you in which kind of ways, right? You might have like all these different names that you have them in all these different kind of communities. And next to each one of these names, you can even like write, this person can really help me big. This person, they might be able to help me. Even this person can give me a little help. This person, don't even call them, kind of thing, right? And I'm not being funny here. You can put notes around these kind of like people in your social capital, like somebody that can teach you something, right? This person can teach me something. I can ask them how to do a specific thing. This person can show me something. This person can connect me with other people further, right? Put Lucian there, like, hey, do you have any graduate that does this, and this in the Dominican Republic, right? Dominican Republic. Did you say Dominic or Dominican Republic? I think you said Dominique, right?
Dominica. Yeah. Not Dominican Republic, not the Spanish one.
I got you.
But I want to go there too, shoot.
Yeah. Just be dancing every day. Right? Make these notes. So really create these lists of your social capital. So that's one, right? The next thing is material capital. What kind of materials, natural resources, tools, buildings, infrastructure do you have already? Like make a list. You can include your home or your land that you have right now, even if it's not yours. Even if you don't have anything, don't despair. But I'm sure that you can put on your materials that you have a laptop and a phone, because that could be something that you can be working with to make that future possible. Would you say that the computer is a pretty important tool? You can put it down. A lot of people don't even look at it like that. Okay. There's many things. I'm not going to stick with this too long. Living capital. I should have went to the financial capital. Financial capital. How much money and in what forms do you have, right? It could be zero. You can show that you have minus if you have any debt. You can show that you may be having credit, for example, that, hey, I have a credit for whatever. I'm not using it on the general, but, right? Write it down. And again, it could be money in other forms too. And again, I'm not going to go deep into that. It could be an investment that you made. It could be maybe some money that somebody owes you and you got to knock on that door. I need my money, right? There's that. Let's go to living capital really fast. Carbon, nitrogen, water, soil, land, ecosystem services, animals, even those have important roles. Seeds. I like that Isaiah is here in this session. Seeds, those are amazing living capitals, because if you have seeds right now, right, you have something to start your beautiful, amazing gardens of your future, right? You might have to grow those seeds every year, right? So that you can have them in that vision in 5 years, or start them right now, and so on and so forth. I hope you're seeing that, right? Intellectual capital. This is powerful here. What kind of ideas do you have? What kind of good or great grasp on what kind of knowledge do you have, right? Write that down. What do you know that is special and unique? And it might happen that you live in a bubble, which means that most of the people around you may have kind of like certain knowledge that you have, but it's still unique and special, especially, and I know in this group of the people that have joined this evening too, having that permaculture design certificate, having that experience, having that kind of like knowledge, and like practicing it on a regular. It's important to put it down. What do you know that's special in you? Do you speak languages? Do you have Do you know specific processes? Do you know baking, marketing, sustainability concepts, philosophies, right? This is powerful. That is capital. That is something that you can have as a currency, okay, to take you to that direction. Experiential capital. Do you have degrees, certifications, projects completed that maybe you never thought about putting them in this kind of like in a form to say, hey, here's my experience that I have on this project? Any programs that you ran or you did? Any embodied experience and wisdom from doing specific things? This is really powerful. You know, I work with a few people right now that basically have no formal education finished. They do have some informal certifications, yoga, for example, and such. But I'm inviting them to look at different type of projects they did in the past and package that as experiential capital, like as in like you have a certification in this of completion of a specific type of project that can be really nicely packaged. And again, something that look at it as capital that could be exchanged or taken you to that in that direction. And again, there's all kinds of things that we can discuss here, how to work with these type of forms of capital. Spiritual capital. How's your prayer life? How is your meditation? How is your faith looking like? Including who is praying for you. This is powerful because this could be part of that social capital, different type of communities that you may be part of. And again, this is, you know, some people may not completely agree that with that this exists. I'm inviting you to look at it as, yeah, it's there. There might be some people that maybe you don't pray or maybe you don't believe in that, but some people may be praying for you. Maybe even trying to ask them to pray more or continue to pray for you. Cultural capital. I really love this one. What community do you belong to and you can tap into to move in that direction, okay? And this cultural capital with the currency of songs and story and rituals, you know, communities that you're part of, they don't necessarily have to be some kind of historical cultural communities. For example, we have Noe here, you know, and she is Hawaiian, so that's a community that she can always tap into, even if she's disconnected from it or not. Other people that may be going to church, right? So definitely that's cultural capital that again could be used and help move in that direction. So this is something to really look at and create this type of analysis. So in this one here, what you would do once you finish with what you have, and that's where I'm going to stop with this conversation, unless I'm going to be demanded to move forward if you want to know more about the next steps, because we do have some time. But once you finish with what you have, writing down, putting all these forms of capital down, what you want to do is you want to run a gap analysis. What does that mean? You want to see where there are some areas that you can improve on or you'll need to improve on, right? Because this is the big reason of putting down what you have, to see kind of like, oh, there's some areas that I could really, really put some work into, and I will probably need to improve my social capital, right? Because really having connections and relationships will move me to this big dream of mine, and that is like a fact, okay? Really, you got to think about how the lack of any of these areas are running counter to your envisioned future, right? Find the issues in each of these kind of like areas of your life. How could this actually be something that's not helping, like the lack of this can be something that's counter to moving in that direction. Okay, so that's all I wanted to share. Again, there are 2 more steps. They're the creating potential solutions, brainstorming. Again, there's a process to brainstorming too, just how you notice that also to envision your future and to baseline your current state. There's definitely a process to it. And again, the next one to create these new potential solutions, and then to decide on priorities and kind of like have these different type of strategies on what you're going to start doing, and putting some of these low-hanging fruits forward. Like some examples would be, some creative solutions that you may be finding is like, hey, I need to create a little bit more experiential capital for myself, or intellectual capital for myself. What does that mean? Well, I might have to go take a class, for example, or I might have to go and volunteer somewhere, or I might have to go and work, right? But you can definitely like start seeing, you can put all these 4 things, right? Take a class, go volunteer, go work somewhere, right? All these 3 things, and you can kind of like analyze those. Which one would be the easiest? Which one would give me other forms of capital to move forward and get me closer to that future? Really, really, you can. There's a structure to how to do that after you find some gaps, and remember, as part of your number 2. So I'm inviting you to look again. You can take a look at the natural step. Again, I adapted this to do it for an individual. If you're looking at the natural step, it's going to explain to you how this is done for companies and groups of people. Of course, there's also more dynamics involved in that. We do talk in the Sustainability Regenerative Leadership course about, how do you like start a community from scratch that's moving in a specific direction, and even like have time to practice with it during the course if you are super dedicated to it. So with that said, again, from this creating potential solutions, there's so many things that you can put in there, but then deciding on priorities and creating milestones to move you towards that future. And the conversation here, you can envision a really beautiful future in 5 years. You're looking at your baseline, you start to create some potential solutions, you start deciding on some priorities, you're moving forward on them, or even at the first look, you may be being like, okay, I'm not going to limit myself, but I am going to be as realistic as possible and see what are those big, great leaps that I have to make move forward, right? So there are some things to it, yet it all starts with envisioning that future. And this is how a lot of projects have been made possible out there. A lot of lives and livelihoods. I mean, we have the book, some of you may know about, Think and Grow Rich. Okay, I won't say the author. I think you should know what this book is about. That book talks a lot about this also in a little bit more complex kind of way, in a more convoluted way, but it definitely talks about having a vision and then getting to it through, backcasting. So that said, I wanted to, let's go here. I wanted to invite those that have been here for this webinar. Thank you so much for being here this evening. If there's anything that you'd like to share about this conversation, this second conversation of analyzing what you have to work with towards that future, as the next step, and anything else that you got out of this experience, if there's anything that you'd like to share or you'd like to ask, and then we'll move to the next part of this webinar. Okay, we have no questions. Possibly the questions are big. No question is big. What I wanted to do right now is, again, I want to open it to discussion, what we've done so far. If there's anybody that would like me to take it to a specific slide that I showed, if you have any questions, I'll open it to that question, to a discussion about this, a discussion if you have any questions about the Sustainability Regenerative Leadership Course, any other things related to this, or any of the work that I'm doing, what did I do for my birthday, whatever you would like to ask. I want to open that right now. And after that, I'm going to, I have a very simple program here. I have your email addresses of the people that have registered for this webinar, including my graduates. If you would like to participate in the giveaway for the course itself, or full scholarship for the course, if you're not, make sure you're typing it into chat so I can take you out of my little software here that has your email address. Here's a question. There's a question already. Tommy is saying, how long is the course and where can we find more information? Okay, so I'll take you to this last, maybe I'll take you to the first. Thank you for that question. Okay. Also, how does your birthday feel? Happy birthday, by the way, being back in Sag season. Yeah, Sag season is always a good thing. Okay, so I'll answer the first one. Oh, wow, look at all those slides we went through. So the course here, you can see on this slide here to the left, is 16 weeks long. It starts in January, the second Monday of January, and it ends in April, of course, 2023. It combines live interactive sessions. So every Monday for 16 weeks, we would be having one live interactive session of about 2.5 hours. And then where we would be, it would kind of have this format where there's one main kind of lecture, interactive sharing concepts, and then going through an exercise. Sometimes the exercise is more, I'm leading it, people are taking notes, or I might be leading and asking some questions and people are coming in and answering the questions right away. And then between the two sessions, you would have access to, of course, the presentation itself in PDF format, the recording in audio video, so you can like watch it or listen to it again. And then additional readings and resources, some that are recommended, others that are too many to even be able to probably look at them, or you could look at them, but not completely digest in a week. And then an invitation to complete a specific task that is basically related to the topic itself, right? So in the case of what we did today, you'd probably want to play with envisioning the future a little bit more and kind of like work with this a little bit more, especially with the next steps, with the creating potential solutions and deciding on priorities to move towards that vision. So, and then you'll have access to other people completing those tasks. There's all kinds of tasks and that you can complete. Sometimes some might be optional too. So where you can find more information, you can go to the website, About and for Sustainability. That's our website where we've been running most of our permaculture design certification courses and some similar courses to this one, and a lot of projects. Some of the pages are not live right now, but if you go to courses, you would find the Sustainability Regenerative Leadership. It is a sliding scale. It has a sliding scale cost, so, and also payments. So we ran this course already. I'm in it with a group of, I think we started with 17, then we went to 11, and some people are doing just the asynchronous part, which, you know, they're not joining us live, but they're watching the recording and they're consuming the content. Other people are coming live. There's also a certification attached to it, and people that can use this class and this certification for this class to get college credit. And I do offer lists of the different colleges that I know will give credit for this, because the curriculum is combined curriculum from different schools also. So take a look at that. I am going to actually give you the link right now. What is that link? Let's see. I'm going to put the link right in here. You can go check it out. Yeah, the subjects are really, really powerful. You can take a look at all the topics that we would be exploring. So today, basically, we were in, let's see, we were in module 7 today. Part of module 7 we did today, backcasting. So pretty advanced. But yeah, it's like things can be taken separately, and they also build upon each other, all of these. So let's see, I do have a private message here. If my number is still that number, yes, that's still my number. Give me a call at one point. Thank you for that. And then let's see, let's go back to this. So I have a few invitations for you before we move to the next one. And again, I'm still open for questions and any discussions that anybody would like to bring to the table. But I wanted to invite you to join the next webinars. There's one tomorrow morning, and there's also another one on Sunday morning. Check it out, the same place where you found to register for this. Of course, I know that some of you registered for multiples, so I'll make sure that you receive an email and an invitation. If you didn't register, make sure you do. I know some of you are graduates here that use the same link you've always used. And of course, the second invitation is to join the 16 weeks course. Really powerful. I really believe that it's either a great pre-permaculture design certification course and post permaculture design certification course, to kind of like bring in some other knowledge from the realm of sustainability and regeneration in a practical way to move forward with your life, make those big dreams come true, and be part of co-creating a thriving future for all of us to enjoy. So I'd like to ask, first of all, and please type in the chat or even take the mic, do you want to participate in the raffle for the to join the course for a free? So I'm basically giving away a free scholarship for one full scholarship for the class. Let me know if you want to participate in the raffle on the chat or take the mic and say yes. Otherwise, I'm not even going to consider you. Or at least say, hey, no, don't add me to this. There's Tommy says, thank you, I'd like to participate. Awesome. Okay, and again, it goes in direct message, yes, yes. So we do have some people. Isaiah, would you like to participate in the giveaway also?
You can put me in, but it's just if I were to win, would I be able to come? So I don't want to take anything away from anybody else's chance.
It's online. It's online.
Oh, it's online?
I forgot to mention, yes.
Oh, yeah. Well, then count me in if that's the case.
Count you in, count you. All right. Anything else you'd like to add? Did you enjoy the session? Anything?
Yeah. Do you know anybody that works for the farmers market, like administration in Orange County by chance?
We may be definitely able to find something in that direction. Definitely. I thought you were in Santa Barbara. Did you move back to Orange County?
Yeah, I'm going back down there. It just depends on the rain. I drive a 93 Ford, so I don't have windshield wipers. But yeah, it's either tomorrow or Monday. yeah, I couldn't get into the market here. They've been just playing games with me for the last couple of months, and I got my
Gotcha.
certification via the county. So I'd like to get into that market if possible.
Okay, yeah, we can discuss. Let's maybe send an email and tell me which ones, and we can do that. Awesome. Yeah, there we go. Using your social capital already.
All right then. But
Awesome.
yeah, I did enjoy it as always. Yeah, if I can attend, I will attend in the future as well too.
Yes, yes, yes. Awesome. So this is for, and I thank you for actually saying that. If I can't come, then I can do it. This is an online course, the Sustainability Regenerative Leadership. Again, you just been part of a part of it, a small part of it, and I am going to stop the share, and I am going to go to. I'm going to stop the recording here. And thank you so much if you're watching this recorded. Again, remember that you can use this to basically envision your future, use the recording and answer those questions in more detail if you want to. Okay, so I'm going to